भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
ज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्।
वन्देऽहं
देहं
श्रीगुरुं
श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च
श्रीरूपं
श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सार्वभूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण च
ज्ञानन्द श्री
चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासुरि गौर भक्तवृंदा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. You're sounding very broken.
Oh, is it
Malapi
okay?
Gopi.
Is it okay?
Yeah, through the whole prayers you were sounding very broken. We'll see. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. So today we are going to read from Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, verse number 48. You can repeat after me. न वेदयज्ञादयनेर्न दानैर्
न वेदयज्ञादयनैर्दन्नदानैर्
न चाक्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः
न च क्रयाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रहे
एवं रूपा सख्याहं नृलोके
एवं रूपा सख्याहं नृलोके
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा
न वेदयज्ञादयनेर्न दानैर्
न
वेदयज्ञादयनैर्न दानैर्
दानेर्
न चाक्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः
न च
क्रियाभिर्न
क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रहे
तपोभिरुग्रैः
एवं रूपा सख्याहं नृलोके
एवं रूपा सख्याहं नृलोके
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन
तदन्येन
कुरु
कुरु
प्रवीरा.
प्रवीर
Anyone cite the verse?
न वेदज्ञान अध्ययनैर्न दानैः
न
न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैर्
न च क्रियाभिः न तपोभिरुग्रैः
न च क्रयाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रहे
एवं रूपः शक्य अहं नृलोके
एवं रूपा शक्य अहं नृलोके
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा.
न वेदयज्ञाध्यानेर्न दानेर्
न
न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न
वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैः
दानैर्
न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः
न
न
च
च
क्रयाभिर्न
क्रियाभिर्न
तपोभिरुग्रहे
तपोभिरुग्रैः
एवं रूपा शक्याहं नृलोके
एवं
एवं रूपः
रूपशक्य
शक्य
अहं
अहं
नृलोके
नृलोके
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा
द्रष्टुं
द्रष्टुं
त्वदन्येन
त्वदन्येन
कुरु
कुरु
प्रवीरा.
प्रवीर
न वेदयज्ञाध्यानैर्न दानैर्
न
न
वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न
वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न
दानैर्
दानैः
न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः
न
न
च
च
क्रयाभिर्न
क्रियाभिर्न
तपोभिरुग्रहे
तपोभिरुग्रैः
एवं रूपा शक्य अहं लोके
एवं रूपः शक्य अहं नृलोके
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर।
Okay, we'll go for word to word. Na.
ना
Na, never.
Veda yajna.
Veda yajna, by sacrifice.
by sacrifice
Adhyayani
Adhyayanaihi,
or Vedic study.
or Vedic study.
Na.
ना
Na,
Never.
Never.
never
Danai
Dane.
दाने
Dane,
by charity.
By charity.
Na.
Na.
ना
Na,
Never.
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 Cha.
Cha.
Cha,
Also.
also.
Kriya
Kriyabhihi,
by
Kriyabhya.
pious activities.
By
by
pious
pious
activity.
activities.
Na.
Na.
ना
Never.
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 Tapobihi
Tapobihi.
by serious finances.
By serious
by
penances.
Ugrai
Ugrai.
Ugrai,
severe.
severe.
Evam rupaha
Evam
Evam
rupaha,
in this form.
In this
in
form.
this form
Sakyaha
Shakyaha.
Shakyaha,
and
Can. Aham.
Aham,
I
I.
Druloke
Nrloke,
in this material world.
In
in
this
this
material
material
world.
world.
Drashtum
Drashtum.
Drashtum,
be seen
be
Be
seen.
seen.
Tvat
Tvat,
than you.
than you.
Anyena
Anyena,
by another.
by another.
Kuru pravira.
Kuru
Kuru
Pravira.
Pravira,
O best among the Kuru warriors.
Among best
Oh,
among the Kuru
best
warriors.
among the Kuru warriors.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world. Purport: the divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of deity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhaktaha Smrito Daivaha. Those who are atheistic, that is, who do not believe in Vishnu, or who recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna as the supreme, cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decree Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universe. Although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna, now one can have some idea of the Vishwarupa after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord. But one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision, are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of the Lord. Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. In this verse, there are some significant words just like Veda Yajnadayaner, which refers to studying Vedic literature and the subject matter. Veda refers to all kinds of Vedic literature, such as the four Vedas, Rug, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, and the 18 Puranas, the Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutra. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are sutras, Kalpa Sutra and Mimamsa Sutra, for studying the method of sacrifice. Danai refers to charity, which is offered to a suitable party, such as those who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Similarly, pious activities refer to the Agnihotra and the prescribed duties of the different castes, and the voluntary acceptance of some bodily pains is called tapasya. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. Those who are impersonalist are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord. But from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim an ordinary human to be an incarnation, but this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of the science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of a pseudo incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form, but that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So, one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of false incarnations. So once again, I'll read the translation. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, nor by performing sacrifices. I'm sorry. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Okay. So this is the 48th verse. So let's see the flow of the verses in this chapter overview. So we entered into the section like 47 to 55. Krishna describes only the pure devotion can reveal all visions of the Supreme Lord. So now the bhakti is going to start the importance of the pure devotional service. So this verse is a it comes like lot of nars, like na veda, na yajna, na dhyane. So everything it comes nar, and at the same time, this verse is going to describe the significance, importance of what Arjuna is seeing. So far Arjuna described so much about a universal form, and Krishna has also given instructions to Arjuna, and Arjuna offered prayers back to Krishna. Now it's saying Krishna is speaking the importance of what Arjuna is watching at present, like what he has seeing now. So that importance is Krishna is describing in this one. So he is telling, so far no one has before seen this universal form. So this is the first, and you are the only one who is seeing this rupa. So far in past, no one has seen. And again, Krishna is telling, neither by studying the Vedas, na Veda, na yajna, not performing the yajnas, adhyayana. Adhyayana means nor by studying the Vedas, Vedic study, and nor by charity, dana, and kriya, nor by doing any pious activities. So all these things, nor all are not by this one I'm going to reveal this form to anyone, and in this material world. So everything is nar. So what made Arjuna to see the form? So he's not, by seeing the situation, he is not going to come in these constraints. So because he's watching the form, he's seeing the form. So what is this is what qualification in Arjuna is able to see that form is So already in 8th chapter, last verse, if you have the books, you can go for 8th chapter, 28th verse. So there Krishna said, like, same words he used, like Veda, Tapa, Yajna. So let's see that verse and come back and discuss this verse. 8:28. Vedeshu yajneshu tapahasu chaiva daneshu tatpunyafalam pratishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param stanamupaiti chadhyam. The translation: a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from the studying of Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So that same words, like, Veda, Yajna, Tapa, activities, Payaks, activities, Kriya. But there it's saying that the person simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these. So this is the point which is we need to think the importance of the devotional service. So I want to go in a practical way, this verse. Let's discuss in a practical, other than like 11th chapter, Arjuna it's not in the universal form of kind of thing. So let's see what is that importance of the devotional service, why Krishna is stressing there, and what is the importance of that one. So let's see. So according to the Prabhupada purport, we will go. First, Prabhupada is saying, how divine one has to become, who, because Arjuna got the divine vision, that's why he calls the Divya Chakshu. Krishna gave that one, that's why he is a, so that's why Arjuna was able to see the universal form of Krishna. So now Prabhupada says in the purport, how can we get the divine vision to understand Krishna or to see Krishna? So divine means, Prabhupada said, godly. So how to become divine means godly. So again it says, unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. So it's not literally here divine vision means the eyes, literally that power. But we can think that divine vision is the clarity, the reality, to see, the capacity to see the reality. So it says that we are in conditioned state. We are born in this material world. We are covered by a lot of things. So we need to cleanse our heart first. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpanam Archanam. So it means that if the dust is there in the mirror, we can't see our reflection in the mirror. So what first activity we have to do is we need to clean the mirror. In the same way, when our heart is filled with lot of anarthas, with unwanted things, and without knowing the reality, then we can't see the reality. Even until unless we cleanse our heart by doing some devotional service, by connecting to the Lord, we can't see the reality. Even if reality comes in front of us also, we can't perceive it because we are contaminated. So that's the thing. The first starting step is how to become godly. Godly means how to connect ourselves to Krishna. That is the thing. First, we need to cleanse the heart. Cheto darpana marjanam. Darpana is the mirror, marjanam is cleansing. So Mahaprabhu says, like, by chanting, by performing devotional service, the heart starts going to clean. Once the cleanliness happens in the heart, then our consciousness, our perception is going to change according to the degree of the cleaning, purification. So that's the time we can see the reality as it is. So that is the called as godly. That is the called divine vision. In the case of Kali Yuga, in the case of where we are situated. Because, so to cleanse that heart, there are different processes. In this verse only it says Vedas, Yajnas, Tapaha, the austerities. So lot of ways are there. But Krishna is telling all are nar. Okay. So he gave it one clue in the 28th chapter, 8th chapter, 28th verse is devotional service. So let's see that devotional service, how it is. So first one is divine means godly. God to become divine means we have to become cleanse our heart. So Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So we have to perform the devotional service. With that one, the heart is going to cleanse. And here again, Prabhupada says one attains the status of divinity as the demigod. So how can we become demigod? So it's nobody can be like, it's not like acquiring the qualities of demigod is important. So what is going to happen in Srimad Bhagavatam? There is a verse says that. So once this verse is prayers offered by Jambudvipa, uh, like residents of Jambudvipa. It says that once when one become devotee. So one who tries to become a devotee of Krishna, he gets all qualities of demigods automatically. So how it's the verse is goes like this. यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवती अकिञ्चना सर्वैर्गुणास्तत्र समासते सुरा हरावभक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा मनोरथेन सति धावतो बहिः. So this verse says in Srimad Bhagavatam, all the demigods and their exalted qualities such as religion, knowledge and renunciation become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he adopt the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy, that is like Maya, material energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? So Krishna is telling here, I mean, in this verse is revealing directly, once one try to become a devotee of Krishna, he gets all the qualities of the demigods. And who is not going to perform any devoid of devotional service, he is like engaging in the service of Lord's external energy. So that's the how this is the one reference we can assure that one, like once we become a devotee of Krishna, then automatically all the good qualities comes. And moving forward, we will see how devotional service is going to help us. So that's the one verse I want to share. And demigods means Vishnu Bhaktos the Devaha. So whoever the devotees of Vishnu, they are the called as demigods. So again, it says one cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. So to become divine, we need to cleanse our heart. To cleanse our heart, we need to perform devotional service. So once we start that process in gradual way, we will get all the positive qualities of the demigods. Then without doing all these things, without become like a divine, godly like this, we cannot see the form of the Krishna, universal form. That's why it's in one cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. So to get the divine vision, literally for Arjuna, Krishna has given the Chakshu, Sudivya Chakshu. To get us the divine vision, we need to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Okay, so that is the first paragraph. Then moving further for the second, but one cannot be divine without becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. So without becoming pure devotee of Krishna, one cannot become divine. So let's see how it goes. So in Hari Bhakti Shubhodaya, there is a verse saying that the importance of devotional service. It says, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jatihi Astra Japat Tapaha Aprana Seva Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. So this is a very strong verse. What it's saying, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. Hinasya means without that. Bhagavad Bhakti, without devotional service. What is happening? The activities are the Jatihi. Birth in a very aristocratic rich family or whatever the high birth. Jatihi tapaha. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jatihi tapaha. Tapaha means the austerities, the penances, how much, whatever we do, and the chanting of the Vedic hymns. All these are Mandanam Lokaranjanam. So Mandanam is the ornaments. Aprana Seva Dehasya. Prana means the life airs, the living air. So aprana means there is no life in the body, that is dead body. So aprana seva dehasya, mandanam lokaranjanam. So all these activities are like ornaments on the dead body. So if any person is performing all these activities without devotion in that one, then all that activities are like an ornaments on the dead body. So the importance of the bhakti there also it's mentioned. Whatever it's Vedas, chanting, remembering, whatever tapaha, all these are like a ornaments on the dead body. If there is no devotion in that one. So this is the word like which is stressing like whatever activities we are doing, if there is no devotion, all these waste of time. And coming for the like now I am going to link the previous like 8th chapter like 28th verse. There it's saying by performing devotional service, whatever we attain by reading the Vedas, by performing the yajnas, by doing the tapasyas, by giving the charity, simply by performing the devotional service, we can attain all these things. How? So how the importance, how it's saying is, see, devotional service is the one which is going to connect us direct to the Krishna, like direct to the Lord. So here it says Veda, Yajna, Dhyana, all these things, studying all the Vedas by long periods, like speculating or gaining the knowledge, if it is not connecting us to Krishna, then the point is we need to think like, for what I'm doing all these things. See, there is a pastime in Krishna book, like when in Krishna's pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto it comes. So there were the Brahmanas who were doing yajna, like sacrifice, and Krishna and Balram and cowherd boys went to herding the cows. So when Krishna and Balaram was hungry, they said that one go to that hermitage nearby and ask them some food and bring that one. So when the cowherd boys went there, the Brahmanas was doing some yajna, and the cowherd boys went there. They noticed that one they are doing some yajna, and with like with they have the knowledge of the yajna. They asked at this point, you are performing yajna, but this stage in this performance of yajna, you can still give the charity. They cleared that one. You can still give the charity. You can give something, as Krishna and Balarama are like hungry. They are nearby, near to this place. Then the Brahmanas didn't give. They didn't respond only. So the cowherd boys left, and then Krishna said, go to their wives and ask. So then the boys came and they asked the wives of the Brahmanas. Then the wives packed everything and they want to come with them. They came personally to feed the Krishna and Balram. And see, and so in this case, the Brahmanas are the one who are chanting the Vedic hymns every day. But the essence of the Vedas is to know Krishna. So when Krishna comes himself, like the service, direct service to Krishna comes, they didn't give that one importance, or they didn't do. They gave priority to the yajna. So that is the thing. Like when the essence is not there in our activity, whether it is yajna or Veda or whatever it is, chanting of the Vedic hymns, sacrifice, then we need to think like about what I'm doing, whether it is connecting us to the Lord or not. So that question we need to think. And at the same time, all these Vedas, charity, yajna, all the pious activities, so these are prescribed in other yugas, not for the Kali Yuga. So why means we can describe more into that one. So first of all, Kali Yuga people has the qualities of Kali Yuga people are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So first canto, first chapter, 10th verse, it says how the Kali Yuga people are. Prayena alpaisha shabda kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hyupadritaha. So it says prayena alpa aisha. Aisha means lifetime. Alpa means less. So they have short life. Alpa prayena alpa aisha shabda. Shabda means the people in Kali Yuga. Kalavasmin yuge jana. So the people of the Kali Yuga, they have short lives, and manda, they have less intelligence. Sumanda matayo means they are misguided, and manda bhagya, they are unlucky, and above all vipadritaha means they are disturbed. So all these qualities are there in Kali Yuga. So to perform the sacrifices or Vedas, studying the Vedas, it takes a lot of time. And at the same time, the people in Kali Yuga don't have the capacity or the intelligence levels as compared to previous yugas. So they have reduced that. They don't have. And at the same time, lifetime is very short. We don't know how long we will live. So at this present situation, don't know when it will come, how it will come, we don't know. So it's a very important thing to think what we can do with these qualities. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prescribed. See, if a kid is, so consider a mother is handling a kid. So we expect the kid to do the best. Okay. And we try for that one. If the kid is not responding, then we will go little bit step down. Okay. And if still it's not doing, okay, I need to think in more lesser than that one. So go 2 more steps down to make the kid understand the same thing. So Krishna is our supreme father. He is understanding the conditioned living entities situations yuga by yuga. He is like, giving according to that yuga the prescribed duty. So in Satya Yuga, they used to meditate years and years. They used to live 100,000 years. When it comes to Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, it comes like in Satya Yuga they used to meditate, and in Treta Yuga they started doing the yajnas, sacrifices, and they used to live 10,000 years. Now when it comes to the Dwapara Yuga, it became 1,000 years only one lifetime, and they used to do deity worship, temple worship. Then it comes to Kali Yuga, we don't know the uncertainty of the lifetime, and we are not like pure enough to do the deity worship or other anything. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prescribed chanting of the holy names is the prescribed duty for this yuga. So chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare Hare.
So this is chanting of the holy names of Krishna is prescribed for this this Kali Yuga, and this is very clearly described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So I want to give when something we say, it's not like we are saying or we are hearing and saying. No, there is a scriptures referring these things. There are the lot of statements which scriptures are authoritatively stating that one. This is the what, how we can do, see, anytime, any situations, there are the solutions in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's not kind of material knowledge where the patches uploads to the softwares. So this knowledge spoken by Krishna more than 5,000 years ago, but still we are using as it is. That's why Prabhupada wrote as Bhagavad Gita as it is. We need to study as it is. No addition, no subtraction, nothing. As it is, we need to take it. Then it gives a solution to our lifetime problems. So this Kali Yuga, how it is, I already described the qualities of the living entities in Kali Yuga from Srimad Bhagavatam. Same thing in Srimad Bhagavatam 12th canto, there is a verse it described how important the chanting of the holy name is. It says, Kaler dosho nidhe rajan, asti heko mahan guna, kirtana deva krishnasya, mukta sangha param vraji. Kaler dosho nidhe rajan. Kaler means Kali Yuga. Dosho means the false. Nidhe means ocean. Rajan. So Sukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj, O king, there are like an ocean of faults in this Kali Yuga. So then Asti Heko Mahan Guna, but there is one good quality, Mahan Guna, one good quality. What is that good quality? Kirtana Deva Krishnasya, chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya, Mukta Sangha Param Vraji. So it says it liberates from the material bondage and it gives Param Rajit, transcendental spiritual kingdom. So this is the thing which Sukadeva Goswami told to Parikshit Maharaj. Before, this like when Bhagavatam he described it to Parikshit Maharaj. So we need to understand, there are ocean of faults. So if anyone is in desert, like there is a thirsty, if they find the some little water, how do they feel? So they feel desperately want to water, but when they find that water, how the happiness or whatever, how they drink that water. In the same way, we are in this situation, full of ocean of faults in this Kali Yuga. And even within us also, there are a lot of faults. We used to see in other yugas, in others faults, but within us, we are struggling between, like, good and bad. So we have both qualities in us. Sometimes we'll behave good, sometimes with bad kind qualities comes. So we need to feed the good qualities into. So I heard one analogy: there are two dogs in us, one is good and one is bad dog. So according to our feeding, that's what how we become. So if we feed all good qualities, then we will become good, because simultaneously when we feed all good qualities, we are making starve that bad dog. So when we pay attention to that bad dog, definitely this good is going to be become less. So we need to concentrate only on the good things, or the spiritual activities which make us enlighten our consciousness. So basically, when we enlighten our consciousness by taking this scriptural knowledge, what is going to happen? Automatically, the heart is going to cleanse and our intelligence is going to become clear. When our intelligence is clear, we can see the reality as it is. When we see the reality as it is, what is going to happen? We will get one conviction in our heart, one faith. When according to the degree how much we convinces, how much we convinced about the devotional service or the supreme personality of Godhead, that much closer we go to the Lord. And depends on that conviction, of the degree of the conviction, our determination in our sadhana is going to help us to go closer to the Krishna. So what is going to happen? It's like a enlightening. So if it is a dark room is there, if you lit the lamp, how it gives the glow, you are able to see the each corner of the room. Same thing, when we show our inquisitiveness towards our spirituality, that slowly is going to lit the light in our heart, which is going to help us to see the reality. So that's what it's saying. But to enlighten the devotional service in our hearts, there in the scriptures there are a lot of process, like 9 Navavida bhaktis, like 9 devotional processes. So how can we get connect to the devotion is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Nasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. We can to choose, depends on our time and circumstances, or depends on our interest, any one of these to get connect to the Lord. So when we see, now we are hearing, now we are sharing, everything is considered as a devotional service. So devotional service is, so the bhakti is the one which connects us internal and external both towards the Lord. So the beauty of Krishna consciousness is, we are living in this material world, but simultaneously whatever we are doing, Krishna is there in our thoughts. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So in other activities, whatever we do, like both devotion means internal devotion, always like it's inner mood of a bhakta, a devotee, and service is the external. So we perform some service for the pleasure of Krishna, and that external service is going to help us to internalize our bhakti, the devotion, that becomes the devotional service. So Prabhupada translates bhakti as devotional service, not only devotion, it's a devotional service. Devotional is internal, service is external, both together devotional service. Internal, we are developing internal devotion, like increasing our capacity of the devotion and performing outside the service. So whatever we are doing in our life, we are going to take that one as a responsibility given by Krishna. When we keep Krishna in each and every of our external activities, then we are in Krishna consciousness. So in every thought, in every activity, when we keep Krishna in the center, then that is called as Krishna consciousness. So the word Krishna consciousness means the human being has consciousness. So what is the proof that body has a soul or a living entity I'm speaking means the consciousness which is present in me. If that consciousness, that soul is moves from my body, then I'll become a dead body. I can't speak like this. So what is the source of this body which makes, move, think, and everything is consciousness. When we make that consciousness as Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness. So thinking, whatever we do, whatever we act, whatever we speak, make Krishna in the center. That's how we live even in this world also as the devotees of Krishna. So that devotional service is the one which is going to help us, which we can't achieve through by doing all this Vedas, Yajnas, Tapaha, Dana, all these things. So now we'll see there are a lot of verses from the scriptures. I have like, very less references at present, like, I take only one or two, but really if we dig like the scriptural knowledge, we will get a lot of references. See, if anybody says something to you, what is the proof, you will ask first. So when we get a authority proof from the Acharya Srila Prabhupada, from the books, so then we will get like, okay, someone like, Acharya is saying this thing. It's not like, someone is saying. So let's take a proof. What is the power of the devotional service? So as the 828 verse said, by simply performing devotional service, we can attain, right? So just see one thing, if we perform, how much we will get. So let's see that verse. This verse is from Skanda Puran. It says that one, a lot of times I quoted this verse. So this is what Gokoti Danam Khagane Grahane Kagasya Prayaga Gangodaka Kalpavasa Yajnayitam Meru Suvarna Dhanam Govinda Kirte Nasamam Satam Sher. So this beautiful verse is explaining. So there are three activities comes in this one. Go Dana. Okay, Go Koti Danam. Go means cows. Koti means millions of cows. Go Koti Danam means charity. When Grahane Kagasya, when the eclipse is there, if you give millions of cows as a charity, how much you will get? Okay, this is the first thing. Next, Prayaga Gangodaka Kalpavasa. Prayaga Ganga. Udaka means the combination where Prayaga Ganga. Prayag is the place where Ganga, the Ganga flows there. So one who lives one kalpa time on the bank, on the shore of the Ganges, that is Prayaga, how much he will attain. Then Yajnayitam Meru Suvarna Dhanam. After performing the sacrifice, Meru Suvarna Dhanam. Meru is the mountain, the tallest mountain, and Suvarna means the gold. Dhanam means charity. So one who performed the sacrifice, and after the sacrifice, who gives the gold, Suvarna, who gives the gold, the height of the Meru. So three activities. One is Gokoti Dhanam, by giving charities, cows on the eclipse day. Second is living on the banks of the Prayaga, Ganga at Prayag for Kalpavasa, one Kalpa, and Yajnayitam. So one performing the sacrifice and giving the charity, Meru Suvarna Dhanam. How much they will get by simply performing the Govinda Kirte Nasamam Satam Shair. So what, they can't even get 100th part merit derived by chanting of the Govinda names. So this is like, as we want the numeric or comparable or analogies. So that is the capacity of chanting of the holy names. So I took only one verse like this, but there are a lot of references which says devotional service is so powerful and potent. And the characteristics of the devotional service are described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. There are 6 characteristics. So what will happen if one try to start the devotional service? First one is Kleshagni. They will become relief from all distresses, material distresses. Okay. Then Shubhadha. So they will become like, all things will become all auspicious. Kleshagni Shubhadha. Next, Moksha Laguta Krut. So once one get to attach to the love of the Lord, like pure bhakti, then what will happen? Even moksha, liberation, sees it. The devotee will see the moksha as a like light, like derived. Even moksha will become as a like negligible in front of the love of the Lord, between the devotee and the Lord. So that is the third thing. So Kleshagni Shubhada Moksha Lagutakrut Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha means rare. It's very rare. So this world is so huge. And now at this time, there are a lot of things are happening in this world. But how many people are there? How many souls? Not here. Even in other calls also, there are few souls who want to connect to the devotional and spiritual. So that is, it's a very rare to achieve. So Durlabha. Sudurlabha. Next one is Sandrananda Visheshatma. Sandrananda Visheshatma is which gives transcendental bliss. So why this is transcendental bliss is, so devotional service is direct connection to Krishna. So when we perform loving devotional service towards to Krishna, so what is going to happen? He is the supreme enjoyer. So you are connecting to the one who is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is the supreme enjoyer. That's where you can feel the satisfaction, bliss in your heart. So we are searching for the happiness way in a wrong place, that is in this material world. But the right place to search the happiness is Krishna, because he is the what do you say, he is the repository of the all the enjoyment. So in this material world we search for the happiness, but it's a flickering happiness. Like sometimes we feel, and the same cause which we feel like a happy, same thing we feel happy with that one, next minute it turns into a problem, we cry for that one also. So happiness and misery, it follows like winter and summer seasons. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Matra sparshasthu kaunteya sitoshna sukhadukkada agama paino nitya tam sitikshashva bharata. So Krishna himself says in this material world, happiness, distress occurs like a winter and summer seasons. What we need to do? Krishna says, Tam titikshva. Titikshva means one should learn to tolerate without disturbance. So this happiness and distress are going to happen in this material world. Krishna decided, he never said this is material world is sooth and the happiest part you can live. No, always Krishna triggers us. Dukkalayama shashvatam, anityam. Every time Krishna is telling this is not the place to live. But what we think, as we covered with the dust, all the impurities, we think that we are searching happiness in this material world. But to get the reality, this is not the place to get the happiness. We need to connect devotion to the Krishna through the devotional service. That's where we feel happy. So people will go to the temple. So what they will do? They go to the temple. Why do they go to temple? Okay, whole week I worked a lot, I got frustration, go to the temple. Why? The temple is the area with the chanting and with the following the rules and regulation, the place got cleansed. The vibrations are very pure near the temple. And the people who perform the devotional service towards the Lord, they follow the regulations and everything. So their devotion and Lord's presence, it makes that place more vibrate. That's why we feel we go and sit in front of the Lord. We don't even talk, even we don't do anything. Just go and sit in front of the Lord, the Lordships. We feel some peace. We feel some peace. That's why we go to the temple. So that what is there, that one, even without talking also, just sitting in front of the form of the Lord itself, the heart feels that connection. So every darshan of Lordship, every time when we take darshan of the Lord, the heart is getting cleansed automatically. So that how much it's getting, we can't perceive because we are impurity. The dust is covered our hearts like from millions of births. So when we endeavor to cleanse the heart, according to the degree, we feel the connection to the Lord. So that is the thing. That's why we feel transcendental bliss. Sandrananda Visheshatma. Next one is Krishna Akarshanayati. Krishna Akarshanayati means the essence to perform the devotional service is to attract Krishna, to get attracted. He is all attractive. Krishna means, the meaning of Krishna itself is all attractive. So by performing the devotional service, when we get attracted towards Krishna, then that is the devotional service. So this is the power of devotional service. So that's why here Krishna is saying, Prabhupada is saying, one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. So once we have to become a devotee, then we can understand the how tedious the other processes is and what we have to do, and the easiest process, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prescribed this chanting of the holy name. And by performing the chanting of the holy name, simultaneously the heart is going to cleanse, and that's how we can get the divine vision. So it's not literally the Divya Chakshu how Arjuna got, but in our case, by performing, by meditating on Krishna and performing all this devotional service, the heart is going to get cleansed and we can see the reality as it is. So that is the result of the devotional service. And I'm taking this verse as a personal, I mean, other than this 11th chapter related, because we will learn something to develop some practical tips in our sadhana. That's how I took that. I practically shared all these things regarding this verse. And going back to the 11th chapter as the as the point of the view of 11th chapter. So Arjuna is watching that, Arjuna saw the universal form of Krishna, and Krishna is telling, not by doing all these things, anybody can see, or anybody can see me in this material world. Going forward, even Krishna reveals again in 53 verse also, the persons not by doing the Vedas chanting and not by penances, severe penances, they can't even understand like that. So going forward, the stress of the devotion is going to increase a lot. By 55, that verse comes, only the devotional service, undivided devotional service is going to help us, the devotee, to connect to me. So that's the how this chapter is going to end. Now this part from 47 to last verse, everything is going to talk about the devotion. The pure devotion is going to grant to see all the visions of the Lord. So I'll stop here. Last 5 minutes is there. So anyone have any questions or any comments, please go ahead.
So, Vallabhi Gopi, everything you said is wonderful. How do you work on that constant undivided attention? I mean, it's not that easy.
Yes, Mataji. So it's not easy. So that's why there is a two rules. There are two rules which are like, all other rules are the servants of the two rules. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, Vismartavyo na jatachi, etayor eva nishedashur. Sorry. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, Vismartavyo na jatachi. Smartavyam means remember always Krishna. Vismartavyo na jatachit is don't forget Krishna. So never forget Krishna. So always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So these are the things when we practice. So slowly, if we have the desire and practice, so that is going to help us. So whatever we are doing in our life, present life, so we can try to think, how can I keep Krishna in this activity? So definitely, as you said, it's not easy, but practice is going to help us. That desire, the sincerity, efforts, Krishna is going to watch us. So how much efforts we put to try to keep Krishna in the center, those are going to help, those are going to connect us towards to Krishna. Okay, this devotee is going to try always to keep Krishna in the center. When I'm thinking, at least think about Krishna. So whatever activities, that's the practice is going to help us, Mataji. Always try to see if you are doing any activity, how can I keep Krishna in that? How can I get connected to this like that?
No, that makes sense. So you're saying even if you're not that perfect, if we keep
try
Krishna in the
like,
center and try to remember him always and never forget him as a rule, then that helps.
Yeah. And those are the two rules which described in Shastras, saying that these two rules are the servants of the all rules mentioned in the Vedas. The essence of all the Vedas is to follow these two rules. All the other rules are servants of these two rules.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Vallabhi Gopi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So I'm just like adding a comment, or you can think that, just
sure, Mataji.
So in one of the lectures, like in Bhagavatam lectures, you know, like second canto, third chapter, 20 to 21st verse, it talks about that head which has a silk turban doesn't bow before the Lord, or you know, the hands which are like decorated with glitters or golden jewelry, you know, it doesn't clap before the Lord, or the legs which doesn't walk to the temple, or the tongue which doesn't chant, or the eyes, because you're talking about the eyes. Even like here we see that Arjuna had a Divya Chakshus, you know, but even though we are not having those Divya Chakshu, but still with this material eyes also, we can see the beautiful form of the Lord and perform devotional service. I mean, I know that is the highest stage. So I just wanted to ask you, how is this will be related? Like, because Prabhupada talked like so much on this verse, so many lectures are there, you know. Prabhupada emphasized that, you know, like he gave an example of King Prataparudra also, that, you know, being a king at present moment, we see him coming and sweeping the street. So that is like understanding their position, that they are not the enjoyer, but Lord is the enjoyer, and he's the one who can liberate us, who can take us back, or who can give us this transcendental divine godly qualities.
Yes, Pataji. So for this one, again there is a verse I want to quote from this one. So Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indire sevonmukhe jihvadav swayam eva spuradyatah. So this verse is saying no one can understand the transcendental nature of name, form, quality, and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually engaged their tongue in chanting and eating prasadam, then by the mercy of Krishna they can understand. So swayam eva spuradyatah. So with the mercy of Krishna only we can understand the name, form, qualities, and everything of Krishna. So as we discussed in 11th chapter 14th verse, when we discussed, like, you know, Lord is infinite, so only finite can understand. When infinite shows his mercy, when he decide himself to reveal to finite, then he can understand. But one thing is required is the desire. The finite living entity should have the desire to see that infinite love. So that desire is going to help, as I said, like, you know, Krishna sees the efforts. So that's how in Damodar Leela also the two inches of thread less is, one is our efforts, second one is mercy of Krishna. So when we put our efforts, then Krishna, the mercy of Krishna, the mercy is the one, the word itself, it says, which comes without seeing any qualification. So if we, as you said, like in this Kali Yuga, to see the Krishna is nothing but to see the reality of the Krishna, the name, form, and everything. So we need to first show our interest, our eagerness. I want to get connected to Krishna. Then follow the acharyas. So how can I get connect Krishna? By following the instructions of the acharyas, by reading Srila Prabhupada books and instructions. Then in that process, always we want to get connected to the Krishna. So that connection, that sadhana is going to reveal us the name, form, and qualities of Krishna. So that reveal differ from one to another. So it's not like a standardized or something, but the sadhana is standardized. Like for regulative principles, chanting and everything is standard. But the reciprocation between devotee and Krishna is differ from person to person. So that's why we need to, like it says, sevon mukhehi jihvadav. Keep the desire, engage our tongue. Keep the desire, perform over the devotional service, whatever it comes, time, place, and circumstances. So then the Krishna is going to arrange the situation in such a way that he will reveal himself to the Lord, to the devotee. That's why, as you said, Prataparudra also, he has the intense desire. Even at any circumstances, he decided, he even, like, at last he sent his son, like, okay, I'm a king. Mahaprabhu is not going to, he is not willing to see me. Let at least go my son. So he sent his son first. Then Prataparudra is the one which teaches a lot of lessons from the character, like as a Prataparudra stage. So he, at last he got the mercy of Mahaprabhu. What made to get that? It's not like one day he got, no, he struggled a lot. He is watching Mahaprabhu, he is serving Mahaprabhu, all giving all the facilities to the devotees. But thing is, Mahaprabhu himself, he don't want to see, because he is a king. And this king is ready to give his position to see the Mahaprabhu. So, but still he survived. Like, only what is that? What is him to make to meet the Mahaprabhu is a strong desire. I want to see the Mahaprabhu. So he kept the desire. He didn't, like, diminish the desire, but he put his efforts. He sent, and in front of Prataparudra, lot of other devotees got the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He never felt, oh, okay, you are, like, he never felt any kind of, like, I'm not getting like that. No, he never lose even, like, that desire. I want to meet Mahaprabhu. It's increased even day by day. But at last he got the ultimate mercy. Mahaprabhu himself hugged him like anything. So that is the thing, like, the intensity of our heart desire is, that is the first instrument which is going to work to see the reciprocation of the Lord. That's my understanding.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. So as the time is up, 5 minutes more, can we stop here? We can stop here. And thank you all for joining. And
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः
Antakoti Vaishnava